Ogun State Government has warned against any attempt to establish a Sharia court in the state. The state government, in a statement signed by Governor Dapo Abiodun on Tuesday, noted that Sharia courts cannot be legally constituted by individuals or groups without legal backing. The government was reacting to a notice announcing the launch of a Sharia court in the state. According to the statement, Ogun State only recognizes courts established through the legal framework of the Nigerian Constitution, adding that a Sharia court does not form part of the legal framework operating in the state. The statements read: the Ogun State Government has noted the circulation of a digital notice announcing the launch of a Sharia court in Ogun State. No Sharia court is authorized to operate within Ogun State. The courts that are legally empowered to adjudicate disputes arising within Ogun State are those established by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria or by state laws, which are magistrates' courts, high court, customary courts, customary court of appeal, federal high court, national industrial court, court of appeal, and Supreme Court. No law operating in Ogun State has established a Sharia court, and Sharia law does not form part of the legal framework by which the Ogun State Government administers and governs society. The Ogun State Government upholds and protects the rights of individuals to practice the religion of their choice or to subscribe to no religion, and recognizes the freedom of individuals to apply their faith in their personal and private matters. However, this freedom does not extend to the formation of unauthorized assemblies or institutions. No individual or group is legally permitted to constitute a court or present themselves to the public as a court without legal backing. Those behind that notice have no legal backing. They cannot set up a court or administer justice by fiat or public notice. The state government directed that all persons involved in the creation or operation of the unauthorized court must immediately cease all related activities and disband the illegal entity and all its apparatus. The Ogun State Government also advises members of the public to disregard any summons, documents, or persons associated with the illegal Sharia court. Such occurrences should be promptly reported to the state. The Ogun State Government will uphold the rule of law, ensure respect for the legal and judicial framework within the state, and prevent a breakdown of law and order. It's concluded. Well, this is the issue of having Sharia court in Ogun State. I mean, I saw this story a few days ago where they said Sharia court is now in Ogun State, and I'm wondering, we have the courts that has the legal backing of the Nigerian framework, and then we're now having the Sharia courts that at some points, just like the governor rightly said, that do not have the legal backing or legal framework, and it's been instituted in Ogun State. I mean, that calls for controversies online. I would like to get your thoughts as regards to this as well. The governor is saying he's against the establishment of such courts in Ogun State. Let me get your take on that. Okay,
first thing first, let me commend the governor for coming out at this point to inform the general public that this thing that is being peddled is illegal and has no place in Ogun State.
All right.
So, I mean, that would have gone a long way to at least make the people to understand the position of things. Secondly, I would say that the government should not just leave it at that. They should go ahead to arrest, the peddlers of that false information, because that, has the potential of causing some kind of disruption in the state.
All right.
The courts is a creation of the Constitution, through the judiciary, which is the one arm of the government. And whatever decision that is taken in the court is binding until another higher court, upturns it. So the life and death of citizens, the court is holding it. You do not have the legal backing to go create a court that is not recognized by the Constitution of the Federal Republic, to be established in Edo State and all of that. So those who are peddling it are doing that for their selfish gain and should not be allowed to roam the street, because that has the potential to cause some kind of damage in Ogun State. Right. So first thing first, I want to join hands with others to commend the governor for being reactionary. I wouldn't say he's proactive because the matter came before he responded. You understand? But it's also good that he responded on time, to inform the general public and the citizens, the people of Ogun State, that these people do not have the legal background to create a court. He should go further to arrest them. Because they are trying to cause some kind of problem. It was not recognized by the Constitution nor the laws of the Assembly of Ogun State. So individuals who probably are religious extremists or whatever decided to come up with that. So I'm happy that the man, tried to nip it on the bud before it escalates. He should go further to arrest them.
All right. Talking about, you rightly mentioned that they didn't seek the government's approval before even bringing such decision, before making such decision in Ogun State. But then, what do you think that the government needs to do as regards this? Because you said they need to be arrested, right? That's one thing. But then, do you think there are other things that the government needs to do at this point in time to caution this? Because we might have occurrence of any of this happening again, aside from the Sharia courts being instituted.
The government should not just leave it at making mere statement. They should put, a kind of, should I say, law enforcement
to monitor, right?
Like task force.
Okay.
Like task force that will go around to ensure that there is no place that they have illegal court that is not permitted by the Constitution or by the laws of Ogun State. Because before these people may have come to say this, they may have started to put this operational in place, trying to set up one or two. And you know how gullible some people could be, in such a court that does not have the backing, the constitutional backing. People will go there and accept every decision that is taken there. And if the government that we all surrendered our powers to, did not do anything to nip it in the bud, that will escalate and it has the potential to cause damages. So coming to your question, the government should not just leave it at the mere, official announcement to the public. They should set up a task force.
Arresting people.
Yes, they should set up a task force that will go around the state to ensure that there is no process leading to creation of Sharia Court in any part of the state. And if in the course of going around, anybody that is seen practicing such that is not backed by the law should be arrested immediately and taken behind bars. So that is what the government need to do. They should not just sit back. They should set up a task force. They should also, not just a task force that is known, they should set up a committee that may not be known, that will be going around to report any incident of anywhere, where the court, Sharia court, that is not permitted to operate in Ogun State is sitting, to deliver judgment on innocent people. Once they get that, they should do the needful.
All right, so let's take a look, an in-depth look into the reason why this is being instituted in the first place, why this comes in the first place. What do you think might have been the reason why they had to bring the Sharia courts to Ogun State? Because initially we do not have this, and there must have been something that prompted this to come to happen in Ogun State.
Nigeria is a secular state. That is the truth. Nigeria is a secular state, but however, within Nigeria we have different religions. Ogun State is not just made up of the Christians or the traditional worshippers. They also have Muslims there. So I believe that those who are perpetrating this are Muslims who feel that the only law that they should operate under should not even be the secular law that guides the entire country, but it should be that of Sharia. They want to have an Islamic law that will be applicable to their members. I believe that is the reason why this thing is coming up, because in Ogun State you have a lot of Muslims, so that's just the reason. But like I said earlier in my opening discussion on this topic, on this particular question, we operate a secular state. Secularism is what Nigeria operates on. So that's legal position, that is the interpretation of the Constitution of Nigeria is what is binding, be you a Muslim, be you a Christian, be you a traditional worshipper, be you an atheist, provided you live and operate within the Nigerian nation. That law is, the Constitution is what binds all of us. So the people who are perpetrating it obviously are Muslims, and they are doing it because they want their members to be governed by Islamic law and nothing more.
All right, more so, do you think this needs to be deeply looked into, aside from, coming out to say, okay, to warn against the establishment of the courts? Do you think this really needs to be looked into? Because we have, it is a state where we have, just like you said, we have Christians, we also have Muslims, we also have traditional worshippers, right? For this thing to come out right now, there must have been something that prompted it, just like you said. Probably they want people to, want to abide by the laws of the Sharia Court based on the majority of Muslims right there. But then do you think this needs to be deeply looked into, not just coming out to say, okay, we do not want this, and also want people not to, get involved in all of this?
I believe that the government has all what it takes to nip any threat to society in the bud. The government have it, but however, we live in a society where people, people's actions are governed by sentiments.
Okay.
The powers that be may at some point prevail. If they actually are the ones sponsoring some of these things, may decide to prevail on the governor to say, okay, you need to allow this to happen. If you don't allow this to happen, maybe your second tenor or whoever that your sponsor. These are some things that maybe thrown to him, and before the man may back down. So to answer your question, the government need to go a step further. They need to go a step further. And the only one of the ways that you can use to put this permanently, to nip it permanently in the bud, is by arresting and prosecuting. If you just treat it with kid glove, if you just pay lip service to some of these things, don't be surprised that before they even started pushing it out, the courts may have started operations somewhere.
Exactly.
Especially at those Muslim populated communities. May have started some kind of at the lower level, and maybe they are seeing success in what they are doing, which is the reason why they are emboldened to push it to the hearing of the government that this is actually what they intend doing and all of that. So the government must breathe down heavily on the perpetrators. They must come down heavily and ensure that somebody goes in for it. That will serve as deterrent to these other people who may want to test the waters. So he should just breathe down heavily on them, except he actually feels that they have the legal backing to operate. But from his statements here, it's obvious that there's no such legal backing for Sharia Court to operate. Therefore, I'm insisting, calling on him to use the instrumentality of force that the government has to ensure that this thing is completely wiped out before it becomes a sore.
All right. Do you also think, before we go to the next story quickly, do you also think that this establishment, those who are behind the establishment of the Sharia Court, might at some point or could seek for legal backing, legal framework backing?
Impossibility is nothing.
We do not know what exactly.
Yeah, impossibility is nothing. If it's gets the legal backing to operate, then I don't have any challenge with that. But right now, as it is, as at now, as at tomorrow, which is Thursday, there is no such legal backing the Sharia Court to operate. Yes. So therefore, it is an illegal activity. If the letter seek for legal framework to exist and it is granted, who am I to say they should not operate? It's a country where everybody should come and operate, but operate within the legal guidelines to ensure sanity in the society.